beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad to finally be here. It's been a while, but hey, this baby girl has been very busy, school and every other thing, and trying to settle in. It's been 7 months now, and trust me, we are still trying to settle in. It's not easy, but we are grateful to God. Anyway, I am very happy. Like, we have over 700 and something subscribers. Oh, thank you to all my old subscribers, and to my new subscribers. You are welcome. Trust me, you will enjoy being here. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe, to like this post, to share, turn on your notification button so that whenever I put out any content out there, you will receive it. Please subscribe. Let's get to 1 million. Let's get to 2 million. Let's get to, a good amount of people, our subscribers that have joined us. I'm not alone today. Yes, I came. In fact, I have a visitor. We have a guest in the house, my husband. So I will leave him to introduce himself.
Hi, good day viewers, good afternoon, good evening, depends on where you're watching us from. Okay, my name is Engineer Calabo Christian.
Okay, so he's here today. Trust me, for me to bring him here, it was not easy to pull him, but hey, we are finally here. So today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of people have been sending me message. Beatrice, can you talk about accommodation as new immigrants? So we will be discussing our experience generally, how the whole accommodation thing went, and how far we've settled so far.
Yeah.
So over to you. I want to ask, our accommodation search, like, I remember we started from home. What was your general experience like in terms of even getting an accommodation?
Wow.
Yes.
Should I call it Gouda ultimate search? Should I call it as if we are looking for the national treasure or missing treasure?
I'm telling you.
Getting accommodation here was quite hectic, From Nigeria, we started, searching, we were contacting friends. We used Kijiji, we used Facebook Market, And one thing we actually observed was that if you're calling or you're contacting maybe the landlords or the owners of the houses, from outside Canada is very difficult. It's very difficult. Immediately they observe that, look, you're not in country, they'll just tell you, okay, let's just wait. When you're in country, then we progress this discussion.
And that's because they want you to come and view the apartment.
Exactly, they want you, and actually, we all got to understand. We actually got to understand that it's even better that you're here in the country to go and view the apartment, because what you might see in Facebook might eventually be kind of different. From what is physically present here. And so it's better you come over, get to the apartment, view every part of it, check the environment, if it is what you like, check the neighborhood, if it is what you like, so that from there, at least you will have a very good information enough information that will inform your decision. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember vividly when we were even checking, what he said was right. When we were checking Facebook Market, trust me, we told ourselves, because we wanted to come and manage what we have, live on a budget. It's not like overshooting, because if you do the calculation, accommodation here is like you are paying what you pay a year in Nigeria a month. Like after 30 days, you are paying it. So we told ourselves that we're going to look for like houses within the range of 400, 500, so that we can manage. We don't mind getting one room. But it didn't just happen. Okay, so like the apartment now, I don't mean the normal, like a 1-bedroom apartment, as since we are just fresh and new immigrants, we're just trying to know, okay, what does this look like before we can even think of getting somewhere. It's just like someone starting a new life. And trust me when I tell you that is not so easy as people think. They make it, I understand their system, but I must say that system is difficult or hard on new immigrants.
Yeah, it is.
Not just students now, even PR people are also complaining, and it's just the same thing. Maybe those that came in through PR, because they want to be sure you can be able to pay your rent. And house viewing, in fact, let me not even talk about that. Like when we came in, what was the plan? Like how did we stay and the whole plan?
Okay, so when we came in, we had a plan, and that plan was that okay, we'll get an Airbnb, and we actually, paid for the Airbnb from Nigeria. We paid for 10 days, with the hope that okay, after 10 days, we must have secured an accommodation. We thought it was actually that easy, you know. So after the 10 days, we were not able to secure accommodation, so we had to pay for another Airbnb that we had to secure. We have to pay for, I think, we paid for another almost 7 days, So it was within that period that we were able to secure an apartment. And the process of getting an apartment was quite hectic, because it was like every other day we are going to view an apartment, getting a bus, using the public transit and all of that. We'll get to discuss all of that, but
Okay,
it was not
speaking
fun
of, still on that, just like I said earlier, we started from Nigeria, and these people want you to come and view the apartment if you are comfortable with it before you start any documentation. I remember vividly, my sister-in-law left Toronto to come and help me do like a viewing, and trust me, after all the whole journey, like from Toronto to London is like 2-3 hours, she still did not even get the apartment. They still did not give it to us because we were trying to cut off something like paying an Airbnb. And just like my husband said, the Airbnb, the first one we paid for, expired. See, maybe I should even throw it out there as an advice. In as much as you want to get an Airbnb and you are hoping that maybe in few days you will get an accommodation, I think it's wise for you to extend your Airbnb.
Probably 3 weeks,
Maybe 3 weeks, so because
or a month, if the funds
we
are
did
there.
10 days, and when we wanted to extend where the man said no, that some other people were even coming in and they've booked those days like immediately after us, and that left us with no other choice but to go to a new place. Like I had to now search for a new Airbnb, and don't forget we are still new. We now had to move our things. The stress of carrying those things, moving children, carrying all our bags and baggages to a different location, still in London, but different from where we were. And we couldn't do much because even that day we had viewings to go and do, and this viewing is not even a guarantee that you will get the apartment
because there are other competitors also.
Yes, do you remember the one that we even we paid for background check? How many dollars? And yet, in fact, the money itself they did not refund to us even after.
Exactly. So what happened was that we went for that viewing. After we saw the apartment, we actually liked it, as if we had a choice. We really didn't have a choice. So we liked the apartment. So they told us that okay, they need to run a background check, and they have a third-party organization that does that. And as such, we were supposed to pay, was it $50?
54, I think.
Yeah, $54 for that, for the background check. Okay, we said, and we didn't know that it's not even a guarantee, so we actually paid that money, and that was it. They told us after a day or two that after the whole background check that was done, that we were not chosen, that other
people,
some
other person.
Yeah, some other persons were actually giving
this viewing, you might even be up to 10 to get to the place.
Sometimes 20, sometimes.
And at the end of the day, so that keeps me wondering, is it that housing are not much? I don't know, because it's really difficult. It's very, very difficult.
Yes. Okay, what happened was, because I also tried to inquire why housings have been so scarce, especially within London. So somehow I discovered that there has been this immigration, even from outside Canada and within Canada, to London. So that brought about the scarcity. Houses, were very, very scarce, and unfortunately it also led to increase in the cost of the houses. Like they said, the higher the
Demand.
demand, and if there is a lower in the supply, of course prices increases. So that was what we met, and we had to start struggling.
But the interesting part is that even with your money, you are
Right.
showing these people the money, like
Exactly.
you are willing to pay. They still don't give it to you.
So what that actually tells me was that what I actually got to understand in all those scenarios, the proof of fund, it started making sense why, IRCC, inform students that, look, if you're coming, show so amount of money and all of that. So it actually started making sense.
Yeah.
And if you're a student that is coming, or you're a
Family.
family, you just need to make that provision. Just make that provision, because you're coming into a new environment. You don't know what to expect. And I will also advise, when you come, just be prudent in your spending is key. Prudent is the word. You really need to be prudent, because you might think you have a lot with you, but before you will know it, you have nothing left, and you might just be stranded. So when you were able to save up something, when you come into Canada, try as much as you can to be prudent until you're convinced that, look, you've gotten an alternative means of income within the country, because you really can't make money in naira and spend in dollars here. Well, unless you're making so much, otherwise it's very difficult. I must tell you that
Exchange
it
rate is crazy.
yeah, because of the
Exchange
exchange rate
rate.
is difficult. Yeah.
So speaking of which, don't forget, while we are going on this view, it's not like you have your own car. You will be paying transport. You will pay for bus fare. Okay, the bus is okay, but cab, because we had little children, so sometimes we are so exhausted to even be pulling them in the whole bus, whatever, and then we decide to take a cab. That one on its own has a way of chopping money, like it will burn your finance. But anyway, we're not talking about transport system. So back to the the accommodation issue. What else, what do they always request for them to even look at you and say, okay, we might give you the accommodation?
Okay.
Things they consider.
Like we earlier informed you guys, you don't forget you have other competitors there. So what they actually request for includes a pay stub. They will want you to show a pay stub, which is more like a pay slip in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the equivalent is like a pay slip, because they want to know how much you earn monthly, and if you could be able to sustain your rent. Because they also know that, okay, even if you're earning so much, they want to know, are you servicing any loan and all of that. Also, they want to know if you have a referee and a good credit history. Because if you really don't have a credit history, that's a no-no for them. And it becomes a very, very difficult situation for new immigrants that just came into the country. And in Nigeria, very few persons know about credit cards, not to talk of having a credit history. So it's difficult here, because that means for you to survive that situation, you need a friend or a relative that would be willing to say, okay, I know this person, I can stand it. Also, they also request for a referee. They want you to have a good referee, someone that is working here in Canada, that they can say, okay, since this person is working here, and maybe they will want to also check that your referee's credit history and all of that. Although some persons didn't really go through all of this process. That's just the truth. Some persons really didn't go through all of this process. But if you happen to fall into this category, then the truth is you need to prepare for all of this. You just need to prepare for all of it.
See, you just have to live an open mind, because the thing here is that another person might just be lucky and they are not asking that person for credit score. But some other people just know that a lot of people are so bent on it. But as we said, there are some people that just want to give you this accommodation. But to me, I would say that accommodation is something that is really, really difficult for new immigrants here. Ask anybody that have moved in, they will tell you their stories. Everybody have their story. So like, how did we now finally get a place?
Okay, after a very long search, so it was more like a transfer list.
Yes.
Yeah, someone that was actually bereaved and was going back to India. So, uh, of course, the person had no need for the accommodation, so he had to, contact us. We actually met him through Facebook
Facebook
Market,
Market, yeah.
so he had to transfer the list to us. And don't forget, they also requested for all these things that
Yeah.
we actually called. So we had a friend that was willing
Stood in for us.
to stand in for us. So that was how we scaled through the whole process.
I would say it was a miracle
Yeah,
because
it was because we were actually getting to our breaking point.
yeah,
You
it
know,
was so frustrating.
yeah, we were actually getting to our breaking point when we eventually saw this Indian that intervened. Said, "Oh, okay, since you guys are searching, fine. I'm moving out of my apartment and I'm going back to India. So I'm willing to transfer my lease to you guys. Just take up all the liabilities." And that was it. Another thing that I would want to mention is the accommodations. The rates here are quite high. The rates are quite high. The rates are quite high, so you need to prepare depending if you're coming for a one bedroom apartment, or you're looking for a 2 bedroom apartment or 3 bedroom apartment. The rates are very, very high. You should be
Yeah.
looking at almost equivalent of what you're paying for 1 year. If you're coming for a 1 bedroom apartment, that should be what you're paying for 1 year in Nigeria. That should be what you should be paying for 1 month here in Canada. And same
Yeah.
applies also the area also
You are
counts.
going to.
The area also. So same applies in 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom. The rates are very, very high.
Do you know the interesting part also? Like 3 bedroom apartment seems to even be cheaper than 2 bedroom
Bedroom.
apartment
Because of
because
demand also.
exactly most people barely go for 3 bedrooms like that, but you see this 2 bedroom, a lot of people, so it looks okay. A room apartment you can see for 600. I don't know, some places might say 500, but let me just leave it open at a range of 500 to 800, even down to 1000.
1,000.
It depends on what you want.
Even want to.
Yes, even want to, but for like 2 bedroom apartment is like from 1.2 to 1.8 to 2,000 to 2.5. It depends on what you want and the area you are looking at. And then the 3 bedroom apartment now, just like I said, will now come cheap or affordable at 1.5, 1.2, and you're wondering why it's like that. So most people settle in for the 2 bedroom apartment, and that is it. So okay, speaking of which, generally, what do you have to like tell people in terms of accommodation search when coming? In terms, okay, maybe like preparing yourself. I know you've mentioned it, but just like we're trying to round it up now.
Okay, so I would first, like I pointed out earlier, IRCC have their reasons for asking you to save up and to show a very good proof of fund. So if you've been able to save up some money, make sure you keep that money very well, because you will need it. Definitely, you will need it when you come into Canada. That's one. Then two, try your search early. Try starting accommodation search very, very early. In your priority list, make it one. Make it priority one, because before you will start doing anything here, you need to take off from somewhere, and that should be your accommodation. And like my wife pointed out early, you might not, someone that you thought would be very friendly coming from Nigeria might not be as friendly as you thought. So it's good you prepare yourself when you're coming. Make sure you're well prepared. And depending on your budget, also she said something, you really need to work on budget. The lifestyle here will always thrive if you're working on a budget. This is not a place that you come and you be and you be very, very frugal, you're not prudent in your spending, no, it won't work at all. It won't work. So for you to get a good apartment, start early in your search. If you have someone that you can contact within, start early. Then don't forget, they will request for, what's it called, a pay stud, equivalent of a pay slip in Nigeria. They will also request for a referee. So if you have someone living here in Canada and also has a work and also works here, that's better, that can stand in as a referee. And lastly, I know they will also want to request for that person's pay stud also, and a credit history. Very, very, very important. A credit history. They need that credit history, because I think what they want is, okay, when you're filling the form, you might want to fill in the credit, your credit card, right?
No, not really
Yeah.
that, because I think you need to like go to a bank and then they will pull up your credit
Your
history
credit
and,
history,
and
yeah.
you show them or something.
So they need that credit history. So you need to consider all of, let these facts, or let this information be at the back of your mind whenever you start this search. And I you might find more out there, but at least these ones are also important.
Okay, speaking of which, thank you very much though. Speaking of which, while you are searching for your accommodation, yes, I know, because of how frustrating it can be, I have this advice for you. Please try and make sure, if you are coming in as a student, for example, and let's say you are coming to Western or Fashion or any of the colleges around, try and get somewhere that is close, at least within that your place of study. Because a lot of people that got, okay, maybe let's say they were in Nigeria and they were lucky enough to get an accommodation, or they were in their home country, realize that where they are is 1 hour far from where they are going to school.
Yeah.
You can imagine flying 1 hour. It's no longer online, no, we now go in person. So this one, you must be in school. Now you fly 1 hour when going to school and 1 hour when coming back. Hey, before you finish your transport, what will you use and feed for the month? Apart from that, you might be unfortunate and there's no bus route there, or bus is passing there. It will also be difficult. So put that also into consideration. Yeah, let the place be somehow close to your place of study. I'm talking about as a student and you are coming with children, or you are coming with your family. Put all those ones into consideration. But for your children, it's no much thing, because schools are around wherever you are living, so it looks a bit flexible. So but you, now that your campus or whatever is far, put that also into consideration. Also, like I mentioned before, your Airbnb, if you can do 3 weeks if you have the money, because the God that favored us, even after we were a bit frustrated or we were getting to a breaking point, that point you are telling yourself, omo, I have a house, so I no come dey see house for here. Instead of you to go through that, just, I'm not saying it's guaranteed said that after the 3 weeks you will get to, but just extend it so that it doesn't look as if you are overly pressured.
Yeah.
And one thing again, as I mentioned, once they've locked off that place, because the person running the Airbnb is also out there to make money, so once they've closed out the place and you are unfortunate, they will tell you that you from your whatever you stated that you will leave on so day. You remember that in our own set they had to tell us to pay like an extra $75 for spending one more night.
Yeah.
So you see,
Yeah, because your host, normally what happens is, they open up all the days.
Yes.
So if you book, say, let's say you booked for 7 days, now that means from the 8th day maybe someone else has booked.
yes.
So that means you can only occupy that apartment
7
for
days.
7 days. Even if you have the funds to continue for the next 7 days, it
If
won't
it's
be possible.
booked.
Yeah.
It's not
Especially
possible.
when someone else has booked the apartment. So that means, what it automatically means is you need to find somewhere
To go. Then you
And
now
that's
have
not
move.
funny.
It's not funny. We
And
had
it's
to
not
like
funny.
move. We moved to somewhere like 30 minutes. What is 30 minutes away from where we were? And we
wasn't
had
funny, yeah.
kids moving our luggages and every other thing. It was really exhausting. And please, yes, I know it can be very emotionally draining moving into a new place. Let me even bring it back to the day we arrived. We got to our Airbnb almost 12 midnight. You can imagine if we did not book that, and if you have a family person though that will take you in, but we don't know anybody, so we just came, and good a thing we had a good host and we got into the place. So please, when coming, keep an open mind, especially with this accommodation has frustrated a lot of people. And if you can, I know there are a lot of Nigerians that are about to come, and then they get to find themselves in group chats, like the Nigerian group chat. That's one thing we were not privileged to get. If you can, check out, I know they post all these things
post,
there. People get updated, and if you even have issues, if you mention it, just like having a community, someone can also give you or tell you, okay, there is somewhere blah 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 blah, and you get to fix that. And also another thing I know that came to our doorstep, though we regretted not taking it, maybe because of pressure, was some lady was willing to lease an apartment to us for 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
Yes, and it was a good deal, but we were like, the disadvantage there is after 4 months now we'll come the back load again and every other thing. But trust me, maybe we would have used that option instead of moving from one Airbnb and another. And then Airbnb doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come cheap. So in summary, prepare yourself, keep enough money. See, that proof of funds is very important. Keep, because you are coming to face reality in a different level. And nobody go just, it's hard though, there are nice people out there, but it's not like in Nigeria when someone will come and say, you can't dey squat for here, no do this, no, it's not like that. You see, all you are strictly on your own. Even if you don't figure it out, it takes the grace of God for you to have people around you then to help you stand. But apart from that, you are doing it on your own. So prepare yourself when coming. I know that accommodation is no joke. Anyway,
finally, I want to also add that in everything that we've just said, just know that it's doable.
Yes,
very, very doable. If Mr. A can do it, you also can do it. So it is not insurmountable. It might be challenging, but well, if you're determined, you can always go through. So that's why I wanted to add also.
Okay, so this is me saying thank you, Mr. Christian, for joining us today. If you know you want to see him more often, or you have anything, just tell me in the comment section, and I'll look for a way and drag him. But my husband is not really like the screen type of person. But just like I said, pulling him to this place wasn't easy. But if you know you want to keep seeing him, drop a comment, and I'll still look for a way to sweet talk him to come and join us. Thank you for coming to share your whole experience with us. We hope to see you soon, and please don't forget, please tell them to subscribe, like,
just try
share,
and encourage her. Do well to subscribe, and like her comment. Comment on her post and all of that.
Yes. So that we'll get to that 1 million, 10 million subscribers, viewers, and every other thing. Thank you very much for joining us, and we wish to see you soon. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye.